Good morning. Like the man said, this is Paul Ira. I'm your host on Shades of Green radio show, simulcast on KDWN 720 AM and KDWN 101.5 FM in Las Vegas. Our show is produced by Green Alliance of Nevada, sponsored by NV Energy. And in studio today, we have the famous Stan Hannell, along with Vanessa Portillo and Bryan Cabble of Garden Farms.
Hello.
And the lovely Annette Bubeck, recording
Good
for
morning.
Facebook Live. Good morning, everybody.
Good morning, Paul.
Good morning.
And again, today we're talking one of my favorite subjects, gardening, growing your own. I mean, it doesn't get no better than that, does it? So, Vanessa and Bryan, introduce yourselves and tell us a little bit about your work and, more importantly, your mission and what you plan on achieving in Art Valley.
So, I work for the Garden Farms Foundation, so I'm a nonprofit partner to Garden Farms of Nevada. And our mission is to get gardens in places where they otherwise wouldn't have the means to have a garden program. So we do fundraising, we help with grants, we bring chefs in and artists, and we get the kids involved in farmers markets, and we just basically really focus on food security for the surrounding communities and the kids and their families.
I think you have an interesting educational background as well.
Yeah.
Tell us about that.
So we really like to focus on the curriculum, and so we try to get the teachers involved in giving lessons to the kids. Our farmers do farm lessons hands-on with all the kids that come out to the garden. We try to tap into the Nevada state standards, so the kids can feel like they have accomplished something outside structured learning. So
Bryan?
Well, I'm the operations manager for Garden Farms, and then I help out with Garden Farms Foundation and do whatever Vanessa tells me to do. And then, actually, speaking of that, she's substitute teached.
Oh, wow.
At so many different schools around town for a number of years.
Yeah. For 3 years, I was a substitute teacher.
Oh, really?
Yeah, I was actually, my long-term goal was to go back to school and become a teacher. My passion is teaching kids, and but with this new position, it's everything that I've always wanted.
Plus more, probably.
Yeah, I'm a certified herbalist, so it was back when I first started at Garden Farms. I was like, I wish there was just a way to work with plants and kids together, you know. And my friend was like, you should look into this company, Garden Farms, and so the story goes, but this is now it's everything I've ever wanted. I'm able to work closely with teachers all around the city, and able to build a curriculum and just teach kids and just do all the things that I wanted to do through teaching, but also help to talk about growing food and hands-on plants, and it's just perfect.
Well, I commented this weekend at a party that you guys don't work for the money, that you work to satisfy your passions,
Oh,
to
yeah.
grow and teach. That's a great passion.
Yeah.
We're fans.
Yes, of course. So, and your mission, I know you're doing a lot of gardens in the schools. Tell us about how you get those gardens going. I think that's an interesting process about when you first meet with a principal and she wants a garden. What's the process after that?
Well, they give a ring to us. We come in and we give them several different options on where they can place the garden. Because a lot of people, they're like, oh, hey, we want it out in the field, or a lot of schools have these really awesome courtyards, or maybe they started a garden project and just didn't realize how much they were taking on, and so it's kind of an incomplete garden. So we work with them on finding a placement, and so it'll be Vanessa and I, and then Justin, who was here last month with us. We'll all go in and make some suggestions on what they could do, find out what their goals and aims are, talk about all the different services and programming that we can offer them. And then Justin will put together an estimate for them, or several, based on if they've got a few different options. And then we go from there. We start helping them fundraise, find grants, find funding or sponsors, any number of things, and building a garden team where we have admin and teachers, and hopefully like some parents from the PTO or PTA, whatever you want to call it. And just getting involved and fundraising towards that goal, and then getting the garden built.
And Garden Farms works with all aspects of gardening, right?
Yeah, so we've done like over 150 school gardens. We manage several community gardens in town and offer gardening classes. We've done about 500 residential gardens,
Wow.
maybe a few more. Yeah,
That's
so
great.
several, ranging from we've got one residential garden where they've got like 2 estates right next to each other. So they have 2 giant gardens, a vineyard, a greenhouse, all sorts of stuff.
That's what I'm talking about, right?
Oh
Yeah.
yeah, that'd be nice, right?
And it's great because, I mean, you tell people that you farm in Las Vegas and they're like, oh, you can grow things in Las Vegas? You know, but it's like the movement is growing, you know, and now when schools are built, the new building plans includes a space for a garden.
That's
tremendous.
great.
Yeah,
Wasn't
so
that state legislature a year ago passed something like that, right?
I believe that's where it came
yeah.
from. Unfortunately, they tend to place it on the north side of 2-story buildings.
Oh no.
So sometimes we've got to switch around. Sometimes they put it in good spots, though.
So we're going to buy some compasses for the architects.
There you go.
That's always very important, the placement of your garden and the way it faces, and sometimes you're just restricted to, you know, this is my house, this is my yard, this is where I gotta put it. But if you've got advanced planning and you're starting with a blank slate,
Yep.
that's definitely important to figure out where to put your garden so you pick up the sun at the right time of the day.
Oh yeah, and if you're crazy like you or me, we actually shop for our houses because of that.
Like I said, I bought this yard and the house came with it.
Yeah.
So if you're going to buy a piece of property in Las Vegas, you either have to spend a heck of a lot of money or buy an old house and spend a heck of a lot of money remodeling it, which is what the path I took. So now I'm looking forward to getting a big garden. I've already got mature fruit trees. I'm drying figs and canning figs and watching my pomegranate tree. And we'll talk more about prepping food and getting it ready for the winter season. So I feel like the ant and the grasshopper. We'll be right back to Shades of Green on KDWN.